It's all right to change your mind or to make a new decision or move a new direction as you gain more information or receive new information. It's not a bad thing to want something different when you're 25 or 35 or when you're 45, because we all grow in different ways and towards different visions. And if we aren't careful, then we accidentally start living someone else's. You're going to be many different versions of yourself throughout the course of your life. Don't let any of them be by accident. I hear a lot of talk about intention, and that's absolutely important. But a lot of us get stuck there. Because in order to be intentional, one has to know what we actually want, and we have to be honest. And that's the hard part, is determining what you want means sorting out what you're actually missing and why you don't have it. Because the thing is, a lot of times it's easier to get what we think we want than figure out what we actually want. And if you've ever been intentional about a goal and achieved it, only then to realize that, like, this wouldn't have been our intention in the first place if we had really been honest with ourselves. Like climbing a mountain, because the thing that you want is up there. But when you finally reach the top, you find the thing isn't actually what it looked like from the bottom. But as you look out, it's like, oh, that thing that I really want is over there. But as you look down, like, you can't even see how to get over to that peak. And that mountain looks completely different than the one you just climbed, which means you'll need a completely different set of skills and completely different equipment, and you'll have to start all over again after you get down from the mountain that you've already worked so hard to climb. The biggest tragedy in all of this is that we think that once we find our peak, then we begin to live, or then we'll get to start actually living. And we really forget that it's the climb, it's the challenges, it's the journey, as so many people say, that is life. And those are the times that you're going to look back on, and those are the times you're going to remember with reverence, with a smile on your face, that you're going to laugh about. The harder they are, the harder you'll laugh, I promise. Um, but when you're climbing, also, it's like you can't be so focused on the peak that you miss the view, because the view is not always better from the top. The other thing that happens is we just don't bother climbing any mountain because they all seem too tall, or we can't bear the idea of picking the wrong one, or we spend all of our time reading and preparing and buying equipment, buying all the stuff that we think we're going to need, when if we were to just start, we'd know so much better what we actually need, and we'd have more practice. The more time you spend deciding which mountain to start to climb, the harder it'll be to even start. And don't wait until you get to the top of the mountain before you look around at the others and decide if the top of another may be actually something that speaks to you a little bit more. You're always allowed to make those decisions, or to make those pivots and make those moves. And a lot of times that's all we need, is just to make a decision, or just to make a move. When you feel stuck, what else can you do? You're just going to stay stuck? This is what a lot of people do. They just stay there and they ruminate, and they think about how stuck they are, rather than just making a decision and making a move because they're too afraid it's going to be the wrong decision or the wrong move. And reality is in those periods of time, there's no such thing. You just have to make a move and make the best of it, which like brings me to iteration, right? And that's really where the brilliance is, because no one gets anything right on the first try. Perfectionism, which I mean, I've been guilty of so much throughout my whole life, but it always, always costs more. Whether it's time on something that turns out not to be the thing, or money on equipment that you may not actually need, or even just brain power that could be used to come up with better ideas or options, often leaving us defeated because we never tried, or confused because we actually achieved something only to realize that it was the wrong one. So where are you at? Are you mid-climb? Are you at the top? Are you looking down and wondering if this is actually the mountain you intended to climb? I know I've been there. And that's part of the reason that I decided to make this podcast. Is I kind of knew the view. I knew what I wanted to see. But as I started to climb this mountain, uh, I allowed myself to be influenced by other people's visions. And it paid off in many ways. I'm grateful that I caught everything at at the right time to actually make a decision and make a change. Right. And, I'm climbing down the mountain, and it's not fun. Those liminal spaces are never fun as you start to look up the new mountain, and as you start to build those skills and determine what it is exactly what you're going to need, and you learn. It's never fun to be the new guy or to be the one that's figuring it out. But what I know from experience is that you have to start there. There's just no other fucking way. And once you actually do that and just get to work, before you know it, you won't be the new guy. Hey, what's up? Just one sec. This podcast is produced by myself, edited by Jens Reyes, and theme music is produced by The Archetype. If you like this episode, please subscribe and share and leave us a rating. This helps us more than I can even express and allows us to provide more value. Thank you very much. Peace, peace.